Hi, dear friend. Here we are back after a while for another beautiful talk on a topic that usually you don't dare to go there. Okay, so it's about the wrath of God. Can really God have wrath, anger? It's a little strange, this. So, first, let's go and see what Jesus says about wrath. Because if you remember, we have already a talk here about wrath, rage, and anger, and we say, God is saying no to that. So how if He's saying no to that is full of anger and wrath? I don't want to say it's not making sense. There is a contradiction. There is something that we need to understand there. Okay, so first of all, let's go in the words of Jesus, where, if you remember well, he's saying, when he's talking about the commandment, he was saying, "You have heard that this was said to your ancestor, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. And whoever say to his brother, Racha, will be answerable to the Sanhedrin. And whoever say, you fool, will be liable to fiery Gehenna." So when he's talking about the Ten Commandments, the don't kill, okay, don't kill, everybody say something very, very serious. But here Jesus say, no, even to be angry with your brother is a no. It's a no. Oh, so you cannot be angry with your brother? So no any wrath with your brother? Otherwise, you are liable to judgment, like to kill somebody. Mamma mia, so serious. So, and as we said, if you have a look again in that talk, we say because the Christian, those who are following Jesus, are like Jesus. And Jesus say, be like me, that I'm humble and meek. The meekness, the sweetness, the big calm, serene. And people usually in this moment start to say, oh, what about Jesus in the temple? He was very angry and threw in table here and there. No. I said also go and watch the video because I'm talking also about that. That Jesus was not angry at all, but was the zeal of the Lord. So he was throwing down the table because otherwise people don't move. He was saying many times, this is the house of the Lord. This is a house of prayer. Are you still keeping on changing money here? And even the guys who were passing by the temple because it was a shortcut, you remember, with the animal, was a shortcut. So I mean, come on, man, it's the temple of the Lord because the shorter way you are coming here, so you stop them, the animals. So was no anger there, but was a clear authority, yes. So we were finished that video, say there is no wrath, anger in God. He's teaching the same thing to us, to follow him and be like him. Keep control of ourselves and be calm. But at the very end, because we know that everything is in his hands, so why you are worrying or getting angry? He will take care of everything. And also in that video we're saying, because there is no justice in this world. That is true. There is so much injustice. And Jesus say, okay, blessed those who are thirsty of justice, because they will be satisfied. Will be satisfied. So which mean not here on earth, because the earth belong to Satan, but when we will be in paradise. So somehow Jesus is preparing us to understand, it's true. There is no justice in this planet. So for that, at the very end, they say, but everything is in the hands of God. But let's pass at the topic of today. So saying, so since God is preaching no anger, no wrath to us human being, the same also him is not a God of anger and wrath. But you may say, so why there are so many words, many times the word wrath of God is appearing on Bible? Okay, so let's go to understand that. But before going that, the last passage, because we said some passage from the New Testament, let's have also a passage from the Old Testament. It is the famous one, Sirach 27, from verse 38. and 28 to what is 7. Sorry, I forgot. And we talk in the other video, so where we were saying, wrath and anger, this also are abomination. They are abomination for God. This forgive your neighbor when they're doing something wrong. So have this mercy for the sinners and so on. So all these things come back to you. Okay, again I say, if you watch that video where we understand, how God is merciful and always say to us, let the wheat and weeds grow together. You remember this passage because God is so merciful. Say, don't cut now the weeds, because in the same time you can cut the wheat, something good. So it's like giving always time to us human beings to have time to change, to convert. So it is beautiful. It's a merciful God. Okay, so let's go at this wrath of God. So first of all, let's try to understand the original from the Hebrew, the word wrath, what really means. And that is the key point. Okay, so let's go there. Okay, you may see, oh wow, Google Translate. Oh yeah, Google Translate can help us to see how these words in Hebrew, even in nowadays, actually is translate rage, wrath. But you may say, why? If it is an original name, you see, all the other meaning are actually sun, heat, warm, summer, fever, so hot thing. Because actually the original of this word you see here is chemach, hot displeasure. Why hot displeasure? Because its origin is from a snake bite. So when a person was bitten by a poison snake, it becomes very hot. Means you have the rendering of hot displeasure. Okay, this is when you start to understand a little more the Hebrew words. So he say, oh, this chemach, that nowadays we translate as wrath, actually originally is the bite of the snake, a poison snake, which eventually let you die. So it's something that when a snake bite you, it is that feeling of hot, feverish, and isn't that really a hot displeasure? Because you you're feeling pain and you are getting hot. So also when you go to see some study or some good scholar in Hebrew language in the Old Testament, you with pleasure will find a lot of explanation and many things that help you. I want to share to you something about this Psalm 38, which is a famous one. Okay, I will just read to you where is the famous prayer, let's say, of forgiveness, asking forgiveness to the Lord because I'm a sinner. But let's see there how it sounds, no? Because at the beginning say, "O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, or discipline me in your wrath. For your arrows have sunk into me, and your hands has come down on me. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones because of my sin," and so on and so on. Okay. So here the point is, say, "O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, or discipline me in your wrath." Oh, wow. Ooh. Ooh. So let's go into this guy here that did some going deeper to the word that we have there in that psalm. And we have this word yachach, more than rebuke, is show me how to be right. Show me how to be right. It's not more really this rebuke, which includes some sense of anger, which usually when we see rebuke, but it's like, show me how to be right. I need your grace, your forgiveness. The other word that we find is jetsef, no anger, again, but in its Semitic origins, this is very interesting, mean more cheap or splinter. So it's explaining why this word is coming from. Okay, see, the Canaanites, they were great builders. So at the very end of each work, they would have this kind of wood chip, splinter, that remaining from the construction. And they asked the boss to split evenly among them. So little by little, this splinter, this chip, become like a correctly and justly. So a right distribution, a right judgment. So is here is meaning more that okay, show me how to be right and correct me, yeah, in a just way, according justice. And again, this ESR is not really chastening. It's not really like to be punished, but this more have the meaning of correction and teaching. At the very end, we said also this chemak, wrath, really the original word, this snake bite, is more than a hot displeasure. Okay, here this guy is a little exaggerating, saying that even when we blush because are embarrassed, so he, at the very end say maybe David felt he embarrassed God. So here is also find more that this hot displeasure is somehow this the cry on the broken heart of God. Oh wow. So you see the beauty of the language if you are able to go in the original meaning of the words. So you see here in this Psalm 38, instead of feeling, oh, okay, God, don't rebuke me in your anger, don't chastise me because I'm a sinner. But here there is like more a trust to say, like, God, in your mercy, help me. I'm a sinner, yes, but I trust in your just judgment, like the splinter, the chip, that you divide correctly. So I believe in your that you will show me how to be right. Yes, I recognize that I'm a sinner, but in your broken heart, so in this even this chemahach, this hot displeasure, oh Lord, have mercy on me. Show me how to be right. Correct me with your just justice. It's beautiful. So you may say, oh, now, so we need to read the wrath of God in the Old Testament like the broken heart of God? Hot displeasure, as the word is meaning, as a hot displeasure. So it's a broken heart. When we're doing something bad, for sure the heart of God is broken. It's not going in anger or wrath, because we know how we are made, how we are weak. For that he sent his only son to save us all. So how can get angry with us? You remember even after the flood with Noah was this rainbow saying, God was saying, I will never allow again something like that, like the flood, because the heart of man since his teens is inclined to the, let's say, to the evil, to follow the evil that is in this world, because we know the world is under the dominion of Satan. But to understand a little more, let's use also the New Testament. Because in the New Testament, thanks to St. Paul, and that St. Paul was a Pharisee, so he was a very expert in Bible and in the Hebrew Bible, and also in the Greek, because for the time they was living. So he understand both very well, Hebrew and Greek, and you see there that he's using the word wrath. He never had God. Let's pay attention to this. So I find the word of wrath in St. Paul. There is no God. And unfortunately, because so many wrath of God here in the Old Testament, here and there, so in the translation with the century, with the thousand of years, okay, people just add the wrath of God. Why? If it's not in the text? Because like we are accustomed. Okay, let's go in the text to let you understand a little more what I mean. Okay, so let's go, for example, in this letter to the Romans. If you go in the original Greek of St. Paul, you will see here, I underline, okay, even if you don't understand Greek, don't worry, I will help you. Orges. So this is the word wrath. But you see that there is no theo God here around, you see? Okay, to show you where is theo, okay, here there is a theo. This is God. And you will not find any any God here. But if you go in the same passage, many translations there add God, the wrath of God. Once Paul didn't mention the wrath of God, he just mentioned wrath. So let's go back here again, and you see, I like this USA is the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. They have a very good, let's say, translation many times, and you see that they kept this, the wrath. So how much more then, since we are not justified by his blood, will be saved through him from the wrath? So we are saved from the wrath because we are justified by the blood of Christ. God already sent his own son to save us. So how he can save again from the wrath of God, from himself? So he sent his own son. So let's go back here again. So how, if God proved his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us, how much more then, since we are now justified by his blood, will be saved through him from the wrath? Oops. So certainly not the wrath of God, because he already saved us. And St. Paul, you see there, he stopped to wrath, not the wrath of God. So how much more then, since we are now justified by his blood, we will be saved through him from the wrath? So what is this wrath? Is the evil one. So that enlightened you. This expert, like Paul, a Pharisee, when he write about wrath, that he didn't stick God behind. And we will see another passage. Okay, I will show you some other passage more, so you know what we are talking about here. Okay, so for example, Romans 12:19. If you go there, again, you will see only orge. There is no theo. There is no God. And this good translation, again, he maintain only the wrath. Beloved, do not look for revenge, but leave room for the wrath. So what is this wrath again? Okay, here in Ephesians, there's a little difference, because in this orge theo, we find God also, the wrath of God. But here a little bit, here descend. So let no one devise you with empty arguments, for because of these things the wrath of God is coming upon the disobedient. So, but now that you are understanding a little more the idea of wrath in Paul, that is the evil one, the enemy. Oh, so you enter in the right vision in the Bible again, that God is not the one punishing people, he's not the one doing the evil, he's the one allowing, if you want. Like in Job. Remember in Job, the evil one was coming and say, yes, Job is following you because you blessed him with many things. Let's see if I take away things from him, how he will act. I got to say, okay, do it. So he allowed the evil one. So he's not the one punishing. And again, if we go in this last passage, where it was very interesting, a good translation also this, is talking about children of wrath. Okay, let's read maybe all the passages will help us. You were dead in your transgression and sins, in which you once lived following the age of this world, following the ruler of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the disobedient. All of us once lived among them in the desire of our flesh, following the wishes of the flesh and the impulses, and we were by nature children of wrath, like the rest. So we were by nature children of wrath, like the rest. Oh, we were children of wrath, like the rest, living according the impulse, according the flesh, whatever come to our mind. But when we find God, no. It's like ordering our life to something higher. So anyway, just to conclude, I was to be too long. But it's interesting to see how in Paul is clear that this wrath is the evil one. And even sometimes you find also God. In the context, you may understand that when we are not following God or we are disobedient to God, he allowed this wrath, this evil, this broken-hearted, oh God, which allowed the evil to move, how you want to translate it. This hot displeasure, oh God, I say, okay, if you don't want to listen to me, if you won't go your way, okay. So I want to give just you a key now to understand. So we will go back to the Old Testament. And this like, parents may say to a little child, be careful, don't go there. Oh, don't do this because it will be dangerous. But it will go. It will go there. Some danger happen. Oh, the consequences of that is because the parents are punishing the child or because he was disobedient. He went there, he keep on with the dangerous thing until something bad happened. So you may say, oh, the parents was so bad. No, the parents actually advised him. They told him what they need to do to bind him in, in chain. Oh, you start to understand. So if you go back in the Old Testament, and if you read the wrath of God in this vision, in this key, in this hot displeasure, if you don't want to follow him, like the parents say, okay, don't do that, don't go in that way, you go anyway, something bad happen. It's not the parents doing, it's not God doing. Okay, just to make things shorter, I just use this Jeremiah 42 because I was reading in this day, just sharing with you. And here, just to use as an example, so there is all this part. When you read, they say, oh, mamma mia, but what God we have here. Oh, what a God. Let's read. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, just as my furious wrath was poured out upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so shall my anger be poured out on you when you reach Egypt. You shall become a malediction, an horror, a curse and reproach, and you shall never see this place again. Mamma mia, what is going on? Oh, okay. The Lord has spoken to you, remnant of Judah. Do not go to Egypt. Mark well that I'm warning you this day. At the cost of your lives you have been deceitful. For yourself sent me to the Lord your God, saying, pray for us. Okay, here is Jeremiah is talking, the prophet Jeremiah, because we find this in prophet Jeremiah. Okay, maybe I will make a summary, because everything needs to be read in the context, because otherwise you don't understand the chapter that are coming before this story here. Because, the king of Babylon conquered Jerusalem. He brought to Babylon most of the people. He left there just a little remnant. He put a governor, but some among the remnant of Jerusalem, somebody coming a little from outside, organizing an insurrection. They killed the governor. So the rest of the remnant, they were afraid. Now they will kill also us. What do we do? Okay, so they asked Jeremiah, because they won't escape. They won't go far away. They're afraid now the king of Babylon will come and will kill them all. So they want to escape to Egypt. And so at the very end, they don't know what to do. They are confused. So they ask the prophet Jeremiah, okay, so please, that you are so close to God, ask to God what he's saying for us, and whatever he will say, we will do it. Well, he did. And the Lord said, don't go around. Stay where you are. But they don't listen. So here is Jeremiah speaking. So was saying, they say, pray for us to the Lord our God. Whatever the Lord our God shall say, tell us and we will do it. That's what the remnant of Jerusalem said. Today I've told you, this is Jeremiah talking, but you have not listened to the voice of the Lord your God. In anything that he has sent me to tell you, in anything. Have no doubt about this. You shall die by this word, famine, and disease in the place where you want to go and live. Okay, so why I'm laughing? Because here, so these people are asking to Jeremiah, ask to the Lord, whatever he will say, we will do. And here Jeremiah is suffering and say, I told you, don't go to Egypt because you will die. Die by sword, by famine, by disease, and so on. Don't go. The Lord says, stay here. But you don't listen to anything that I'm saying. You are disobedient to God. So that is the consequence. Again, that is the consequence. It's not God that is punishing you. But you say, so have you read the word before? They were so harsh, saying, yeah, indeed they were harsh. Let's look again. Maybe you can look here, just as my furious wrath and pour out upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and shall my anger be poured on you when you reach Egypt. But something there, maybe the way that was put down or translate again, because if we see this part superior, I mean the part coming before this, which is explaining everything, you may say, oh, you see, okay, here why I underline in yellow and here is just white, just to understand, what is happening before. So you say, wow, how this part look and seems, there's no wrath here somehow. Okay, let's read, so I let you understand what I mean. So here is God speaking, Do not fear the king of Babylon as you do now. Do not fear him, oracle of the Lord, for I am with you to save you, to rescue you from his power. So guys, once again, don't worry. I'm in control of the situation. If you believe, if you trust that everything is in his hands, for that you are meek, calm, you have no anger, no wrath, because everything is in his hands. So I say, I will take care, guys. I will save you. I will take pity on you, because you are the remnant, these little people that are here, so that he will have a pity on you and let you return to your land. So I don't know how, but the Lord will manage to let also the king of Babylon to have a pity on them, because actually the guy who organized the rebellion, they know who it is and so on. So not really why they are afraid before the time. Yeah. So anyway, but the Lord know what he's doing. So he's saying to them, don't worry. I will let him have a pity on you and let you return to your land. But if you keep on saying, we will not stay in this land, thus disobeying the voice of the Lord your God, and saying, no, we will go to the land of Egypt, where we will not see war, nor hear the trumpet alarm, no hunger for bread, there we will live. Then listen to the word of the Lord, remnant of Judah. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. If you are set on going to Egypt and settling down there once you arrive, this word you fear shall overtake you in the land of Egypt. The anger you dread shall pursue you to Egypt, and there you shall die. All those determined to go to Egypt to live shall die by the sword, famine, and disease. Not one shall survive or escape the evil that I am bringing upon them. Wow, so, but you have a new insight. Wow, this way of speaking is more human, more natural, more understandable, because you say, guys, if you are going, okay, because you don't trust in me, I will manage to have the king of Babylon have a pity on you and leave you in this land. Because if you go to Egypt, think, even yourself nowadays. So, because you are afraid, you the remnant, even if there's not such a lot of people, but still there's a lot of people moving with armed people, and you are moving in another country. What you are expecting that the other country is doing? Just open the door to you? Or they are afraid that you are preparing some trick, some attack? So maybe they will attack you with sword. You will die there. Or maybe until you manage to handle the discussion with them, you will die by hunger or thirst, some disease. So by the time you really will land, if they allowed, if you're not afraid, otherwise really they will kill you, you're already dead, man. So you will think even by yourself. So once again, that consequence is that the Lord know that it will happen to you if you don't listen. Like the parents are saying to the child, don't go there because it's dangerous, you will follow, will happen this and that, but you don't listen, and after something bad happen, even if the parents say it. And here, when you read the part in yellow that I wrote, you say, wow, the wrath, the anger of God, oh, it's so terrible. But actually, it's not. It's well explained here before. These are the things that will happen. So I will not do these things. It's not God doing this thing. But if you don't obey, you will go there. That's what will happen to you. So, in other words, after when Jeremiah spoke to the people, he put in maybe a little more heavy way, like the anger of God, like the just judgment of God that will cause this. But again, the Holy Scripture is written by, we say always inspired by the Holy Spirit, but also written by men, people. So maybe he let his hand more going on the anger of God to move people, or maybe once again is that in Hebrew means this hot displeasure. Guys, don't provocate this hot displeasure to God, because the wrath in the Pauline way of understanding. So because after the evil one will handle this situation, it will kill you through sword to famine. So even there, after thousands of years, of course, you may say, or maybe something went wrong in the translation. But if you have the key, and you will see also from the beginning, guys, if you don't listen to the Lord, if you don't trust on the Lord, that's what will happen. So it's not the Lord who is punishing you. So, guys, this is the key that will let you open the difficult passages about the wrath of God. Because as we said, God is himself is preaching, do not have this wrath, anger, and himself he has no sense to be in wrath and anger against us once he sent his only son. He sacrificed for us, for pay for all our sins. And that way he saved us because he loved us. So he say, look more at the parents, how they are saying something to you, but if you do not obey, you go the same. If you find yourself in trouble, it's not the Lord that is punishing you, but it's yourself that you are falling the wrath. You are becoming again children of the wrath, as St. Paul was saying. I mean, you are children of this world. And this world really is in wrath and anger against everybody. You know that the evil one is called the accuser, the one who accuses our brothers and sisters day and night. Is always in anger against God, against us. So if you don't follow God, you follow in this anger, in this displeasure every day. I say, so please read with a new vision those passages. And at the very end, why I was saying all this? Why? One word: millenarianism. Oh, what that big word means. Okay, you can go in the dictionary, have a look, look around. You can Google it. But in a simple way, I will explain, because when in the Middle Age we reach the year 1000, people say, wow, 1000, the 1000, well, maybe it's the end of the world, something will happen. Nothing happened. And again, when we reach the year 2000, such a round number, this may mean the end of the end of the world. Maybe it's the end of the world. Nothing happened. Oh, in 2000, what was 2014? The calendar of the Maya is ending in that 2014, so will be the end of the world. No, they just don't have other places where to write. Or they thought there is no sense to keep on writing. It's not the end of the world. Though even Jesus not the end of the world. He say only the Father. So, but again, and nowadays with this COVID-19, there are people in a millenarianistic way saying this is the end of the world. The Lord is punishing us. Oh, slow down, slow down. The Lord is not punishing anyone, because he said clear, let the weeds grow together. When it's time, he will divide the bad from the evil, the goat from the sheep. Not now. He sent his only son to save us. Why you need to kill us now? It's true that this disease is killing a lot of people. Still, you may say, 2 million on around 8 billion people is not that much, but still a dangerous thing. But certainly it's not the punishment of God. In the contrary, you may say, okay, God is allowing that this thing happen. Fine, because you may say, okay, we are now so far away from God. we don't care from God. So all our society, states, all the world is going in a wrong direction. It seems like God is not intervening because we are far away from Him. Maybe, yes, but it's not God punishing you with this COVID. It's not. God is merciful. God is love. Blessings.